Hello, and welcome to the Teaching with Class podcast, the podcast that gives you quick, actionable tips to easily implement in your classrooms. I'm your host, Monica Pujo-Nassif. Super happy to be with you today. In today's episode, we'll be discussing educator sensitivity and how important it is to be in tune with the students in your classroom. We are joined by Romell Mendez. He is a toddler teacher at Chicanos por la Causa Early Head Start in Phoenix, Arizona. He has been working for CPLC as a toddler teacher for over 10 years. Welcome, Rommel. We are so grateful that you are taking the time to share with us some expertise. Tell us a little bit about you, please.
Thank you for having me today. I'm very honored to share my experience about early childhood. Little background about me. I started with CPLC around 2010 as a teacher assistant for migrant and seasonal Head Start. It was really good. I enjoyed it from the first time I started. First of all, I love kids. Kids are like teaching them, being around them, playing with them. To me, it's a joy that I don't get it nowhere else. So I already love the field. And since then, I always been working with children. I also done other things related to working with kids. And I was a care provider for Arizona Care Providers for about a year and a half. I work in after school programs. I also work for the district, for the Phoenix Union School District as a lead teacher. And I also work as an emergency substitute teacher for the Levine School District. And my favorite age group has always been the little ones, ages 2 to 3 or 4 and 5 as well. So preschool age is my favorite age group. I just enjoy them a lot, and they're like a sponge. I love being around them and teaching them new things every day.
Thank you so much for sharing that. So inspirational, and you've been around and working with children in many places, and you are right now in the age group that you love the most.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start talking about, what would you say about how can teachers build trust with the toddlers they work with?
For me, one of the things that I usually try to understand when working with children is that I meet them where they are. So I also embrace their own individuality, who they are. And I build on that, I try to be as caring. I give them affection. I sympathize with them. And I think that's very important in building relationships, because they can trust you and they can come to you. They can sit next to you. They can sometimes cry next to you, laugh next to you. And that's huge. And I have seen kids, sometimes they just gravitate to me without even me saying a word. I think it's just the energy that you give into, they give it back to you. So when you smile at them without even saying a word, or when you ask them for high fives or hugs, because I'm a very touchy guy. Like I love giving high fives. I love giving hugs. I love just like tickle them and stuff like that. And if I see that they like it too, they want to, yes, I'm all for that. Especially the little ones, they love closeness. So, and I like it as well. I think it's very important to meet them where they are and embrace who they are, and everything else will fall into place. They will start seeing that, oh, he's someone that I can trust and come and talk to and sit next to.
Yeah, and I hear you. You said building those relationships, those connections,
Mm-hmm.
and also how genuine you are about this.
Yeah.
Something that you feel and they feel that chemistry is mutual.
Yes.
So how do you think being a sensitive teacher, building these bonds and having the children trusting you, it's impacting the behaviors of toddlers?
I think when you are mindful how they feel and you're in tune with their feelings, they're able to regulate their own emotions better. When you come to them and you sit next to them and you tell them, I understand you feeling happy or you feeling sad or if they hurt themselves or like right now I'm working with little ones. They like 1.5. Well, the oldest is going to be actually, she turns 2 today the oldest kid in my class. So they little. So whenever they're crying or whenever I feel like I kind of try to pick those cues, I'm like, oh, I see that you might be hungry. Okay, I give them a little snack. Or if they start looking around, I hold their hands and I'll go and show them their family pictures. Or I try to find things that they will help them calm themselves that they're familiar with. Or even like little things like that, I kind of like start looking around what can I help them with to regulate their emotions because they don't know how to, and it's up to us to kind of help them over the hump. And when we start picking up and little things that they might need, and also like going back to like embracing who they are and meeting them where they are and building that relationship, kind of, okay, I understand John sometimes gets upset after mom leaves. So let me go and spend a little more time with him, or let me go read him a book, or let's go to the comfort area. Let me give him a little stuffed animal. Things like that goes a long way with helping them regulate their own emotions and their behaviors in school.
Excellent. Absolutely. And it's through that sensitivity and being
Mm-hmm.
aware and responding in an individualized way that you mentioned in
Yeah,
the beginning
yeah.
is guiding their behavior because you're validating their emotion and
Mm-hmm.
giving them the tools to calm down. And you said,
Yeah,
right, learn to self-regulate. Thank you so
yeah.
much. And let's make a little emphasis on that individualization.
Mm-hmm.
We might have children with different abilities within the same environment. So some children might have a sensory overload,
Mm-hmm.
talking about lighting or
Mm-hmm.
smells or noises. How can you help students who struggle with that?
Having empathy and understanding for there's like we were talking about individuality. Every child is different. Some children sometimes get affected by, like you just say, lighting or too much in stimulation in the classroom. We are mindful about that too, especially in every class that I've been to, that we're not overstimulating their minds because too much to the point that they, or it's distracting from their learning or they having a hard time. So we try not to put too much artwork in the classroom. We try not to have bright colors. Like red. Red can be a very vivid color for some kids. The lighting too. We don't have a really bright class. So we are aware of those things and we are mindful of those things, especially working with so many different children that come at with so many different stages in their lives, that we try to be sensitive to that. And that's a big thing for us. And I'm aware of that. So I try to, every time I see a child, I try to pick on those cues, how they feeling, or is it too much? It might be too much toys in one area and they can clean out. So let me take a little bit, just a little bit out and introduce different things like that. I'm looking into the classroom to make it more comfortable and also not too overstimulating for them.
I love how you said you're aware, and I'm assuming for what you were saying, you're observing them and getting to know them. And you're absolutely right. Sometimes they need a little less, right?
Mm-hmm.
They do want to clean
Mm-hmm.
up. You want them to
Mm-hmm.
learn. There's too many blocks.
Too
So
many
how about
blocks.
you take some and they do the rest? I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah. And not only that, like my expectations for them is not to always clean everything up because it can be too much too. Like if you can help, like I model for them a lot. So usually, obviously everything here is labeled and by visualize, like, because they need visuals. Visuals is very important for us. And we have everything labeled with a picture. So, and I modeled for them on top of that. Like, this is where the blocks go. This is where the puzzles go. And I go I hold their hand, and because these kids, this age group, they're really small and they need as much support as we can give them. And the expectations is not for them to do everything. If they can help with putting one book away, or if they take 5 books away and they put one away, that's okay. Even if they don't want to do it right away, I will hold the book and I will go with them to show them where they go. So the next time they will do it. So being patient and understanding that sometimes they might not do it right away, that they might not want to do it right there, right and then, it's okay. So having those expectations that things sometimes are not going to go the way you want it to, it's okay too, especially working with the age group that we work with, because we had to be very flexible with them and patient, which is really hard sometimes. But me personally, that's one of the things that I always say. I pride myself on saying that, wow, I'm like, and I did, like, I wasn't mad, I wasn't angry, like, not that I get angry, but I was like, we did it. I did it, and they were so calm. I was calm. I didn't, even though we might be late to go outside, like 5 minutes, but we okay. And
Yes,
yeah,
yes, yes. You spoke about something that is key in this age group, which is guiding them. And you
yeah,
spoke a lot about modeling those behaviors.
yeah,
And it's okay. You are
yeah.
not giving up. You are doing it with
Oh
them.
yeah, for
And
sure.
yes, tomorrow he might
Yeah,
do it or she might do it.
yeah,
And you just also said you surprise yourself every day when you practice your own self
yeah,
regulation
yeah,
because it's okay. 5 minutes.
yeah,
How is
yeah.
that going to change anything?
Mm-hmm.
So, all this is so important in the development of social and emotional
Mm-hmm.
skills. How can we translate this being sensitive, being aware, and being responsive in that individualized way? How can we translate that to learning? So, how you being sensitive is promoting growth and development with your young children.
By me being sensitive to their needs and sensitive to their emotions, I feel like learning facilitates learning. It makes them able to grasp everything they're learning, whether it is, we're talking about something as simple as farm animals. If I'm able to teach the lesson in a calm demeanor and calm voice, and sometimes even being a little animated, because we had to be, for kids to enjoy the lesson, or for kids to like it. Because if you make it just plain and simple, they just look at you. But if you a little animate and dance and make it a little fun for them, they will enjoy it. And sometimes some kids I seen that find their interests. I like to see what they like to do, like where they gravitate to, like what which interest areas they go the most, and go there and try to find, either like switch out some of the toys and make it a little more challenging. If I see that they already done with those, like they know how to put the puzzle that has 3 pieces, I go, and after a little while, I'm like, he done it. Let me go find one that has 5. Let me go find another one that has 6, depending on how they doing it. And that's good, because you still challenging them. And if they get frustrated, you're there to support them, and understand that, oh, maybe I thought he was ready for this. I'm gonna just keep it at the same where I had before. So with us, is like we always modifying the lesson plan, and we're always modifying our lessons, and the way we interact with each child, because every day it could be different depending on how they feeling, how they come. One of the things that I also love doing is asking parents how did he sleep, is he having a good time at home? I just try to give them that open door for them to tell me anything that might help me prepare myself on how I'm going to teach them, or how I'm going to talk to them, or how I'm going to, if I need to be more extra sensitive, I will be extra more sensitive that day. If I had to change some of the stuff that I was going to do, I would change it, just because I want to make sure that the child is, his feelings or his needs are being met where
Wow.
he's at. Sometimes with activities that we do, I notice that some of them they don't like getting their hands dirty, which is okay. We paint, we do finger painting. Some of them they don't like that, and I will do okay. Maybe he might like water, so I will put water, or I will do other sensory activity that they might like that doesn't have to do with something that they find it as messy. Or most kids that I find out they like messy activities, but I find that there's a couple, like I said, they're unique. They might not like painting. They might not like playing with the mud or certain textures. So for those kids, you have to be understandable, and we had to find something else that they might like.
Rommel, you spoke about almost every dimension of class in that toddler age group. You're talking about regard for child perspectives. When you say me being observing and being aware, I recognize what they like to do. And then you use that so that they can participate in activities to learn and to grow.
Yeah.
And obviously, you're talking about facilitation of learning and development domain. When you say also being aware of, it seems like this child is bored. Let me add a little bit of a challenge. So you're doing those adaptations so that they get that cognitive challenge and their physical challenge. And then you even say, well, it was too hard. I thought that so you adapt again.
Yeah.
So I hear that you being sensitive, you're in constant observation and adaptation to what they need so that they're happy and that they learn. It's just, I am fascinated with your words.
Yeah. Because some of them go hand in hand as well. When you're being sensitive, but you also got to be able to adapt to other stuff. So it goes hand in hand. And I feel like sensitivity is one of my top strengths, but I'm able to exhibit those other strengths, those other qualities that I have.
Yeah.
But just sensitivity is just one of those things that I want the environment to be great for a child. I want them to feel safe. I want them to feel comfortable, even with the parents. When they come in, I want them to feel welcome. I want them to feel acknowledged. I want them to know that when they leave their child in our care, they're in the best hands. And we're going to do everything possible to take care of them, to teach them, to guide them, and give them everything they need for them to continue with their education.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So to close, based on all of that you said, what you just said at the end, can you give our listeners 2 or 3 strategies that that they can implement immediately in the classrooms to increase their awareness or their responsiveness or how to adapt activities?
One of the tips that I would give them is to get to know your child. And that could be as easy as just like spending every day that you're with them, try to find something that they enjoy doing and build on that. And another thing is like, try to stay away from labeling and judging a child, because we don't know, especially these little kids are so little. We had to be given the space to be who they are and embrace who they are and love them. Because they will come to you and you'll be surprised. They teach me every day. They teach, like I was saying, like I'll be surprised on myself. Man, I don't know, I could be that patient. Like walk with them at how they walk, at the pace they walk. We were a little late to come back inside from outdoors, but that's okay because they were enjoying themselves. Things like that. Like I don't try not to beat myself up for little things like that. I just as long as I know they're safe and they're learning and they're enjoying themselves, I'm okay with that.
Thank you, Romell.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for sharing your stories, your expertise.
You're welcome.
And you all know you can find today's episodes and transcript on our website at teachton.com/podcasts. And thank you, Architects of the Mind, for sharing your love and wisdom with the children of the world and for being here to add to your box of wonders. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.